We are back. Segment 2, IDD. For those of you who know, I don't disagree. The Boston, New York joint sports talk show from two diehard fans from those fan bases. The redoubtable one is off tonight at a Christmas party. Hope he's having a good time. And we will see him hopefully tomorrow night. The highly questionable Audrey Millett Show. Flying solo here. Segment 2, all things Bill Belichick. Is it really going to happen? I mean, is it really going to happen? Tom E. Curran, who is now, I don't know what, I love the guy, but I might be in the minority because there's still a lot of stupid people up there in New England, had reported the other day that this decision on Bill Belichick's future has already been made. And it was made in Germany at the end of that 10-6 debacle. Here's the thing. And again, I have gone over the facts ad nauseum. And even the idiots up there, and there's still quite a few of them, who don't want to hold Bill Belichick accountable for everything that's gone wrong in New England, starting with Tom Brady's departure, by the way, which Stephen A. Smith again brought up on First Take today. Yeah, Stephen A., thanks for stealing my thunder. You're about 4 years too late. Glad you came around, Stephen A. Your sources. Yeah, well, I was saying 4 years ago, and all I did was Google it, was his record without Tom Brady. And then per Stephen A.'s story, which again he mentioned today, he brought it up, that had Bill Belichick just said if he wanted Tom to stay, Tom Brady would have stayed. No, that wouldn't have been enough because Tom Brady needed help. Tom Brady knew he needed help, and Bill Belichick wasn't going to spend the money on offense. Nor was he going to draft the offensive talent that he needed at the first and second rounds, really first round, high-end talent. Okay? Yeah, he drafted N'Keal Harry. Talk about a swing and a miss. Okay? His drafting of N'Keal Harry looks like a 10-year-old trying to hit a Roger Clemens fastball. That's how bad that was. And if he had just got any one of the three that came after, and again, I'll say it again for the slow people, Deebo Samuel, A.J. Brown, who thought the Patriots were going to draft him, or DK Metcalf, Tom Brady doesn't leave. And not only does Tom Brady not leave, the Patriots probably win at least one more Super Bowl, which should make everybody in Massachusetts and in New England who are Pats fans enraged. Because he cost them one in Philly when he benched Malcolm Butler over an argument with, of all people, Matt fucking Patricia, who everyone seems to agree he's a bumbling boob. But Bill sided with him, and because of that, he turned Nick Foles. By the way, have you seen Nick Foles lately? Do you know where he is? Start by looking at the back of a milk carton. Okay? Nick Foles. Bill Belichick turned Nick Foles into a household name. And they set a Super Bowl record, 86% completions on third down completion percentage. Or third down conversion rate, rather, which foiled Tom Brady's NFL record 505-yard passing performance in the Super Bowl. You know, they used to joke about how only Dean Smith could stop Michael Jordan. Turns out only Bill Belichick could stop Tom Brady. And he could do it with his arrogance and his ego and his idiocy, which he did in that Super Bowl. He did by not drafting one of the three I mentioned, and he did by basically by convincing Robert Kraft that Tom Brady was on his last legs when he wasn't. He just needed some help. Which, by the way, if you look around the NFL today, there's a lot of 20-something quarterbacks that are struggling because they don't have the same exact help that Tom Brady required at 42. Patrick Mahomes, Exhibit A. Okay? So, Bill Belichick needs to be held accountable for all that. Bill Belichick needs to be held accountable for screwing up a first-round draft pick who had a promising rookie year, and now he can't throw it from here to there without pissing himself in Mac Jones, who everyone up there is blaming for this. He has literally been thrown on the slab as the sacrificial lamb for this idiot's GM failures. Okay? His failures, his coaching, everything. Blunder after blunder after blunder after blunder. I've gone over all of them ad nauseum. Stephen A. Smith did say, and he's right, the real fans in New England will never forgive him for pushing the golden boy out the door. But what Stephen A. Smith neglects to say or fault with, the golden boy wasn't done. Because the golden boy in his last year, and he struggled, was 24 touchdowns, 8 picks, 3-1. That's very good. 4,000 yards with N'Keal Harry and a banged up Julian Edelman and nothing else. A rushing attack that fell from 5 to 16. The retirement of Rob Gronkowski. He drafted 2 tight ends that nobody can name outside of that draft room because neither one played a meaningful minute for the Patriots. Okay? He put this offensive line together. He scotch taped it, okay, this year for Mac Jones. He did not sign DeAndre Hopkins. Had the money, needed a number 1 receiver, didn't do it. Okay? Didn't do it. Didn't do it, America. And the problem with that one is that if you look at, I love the power of technology, don't you? If you look at the stats here, the NFL stats, just currently, right, as we sit here on Wednesday evening in the witching hour, if you look at, receivers, you're going to, I mean, tell me if this would have helped the Patriots, okay? Because right now, if you look at NBA leaders, right now, DeAndre Hopkins, who has gone through 2 garbage quarterbacks, neither of which is as good as Mac Jones, is currently sitting at 16th in the league. He's at 898 yards, 15.8 yards a catch, and 6 touchdowns. If Tom was here, I'd be looking at him like waiting for a response. 898 yards, 6 touchdowns, almost 16 yards average a catch. He's played every single game. I wonder if that may have made a difference. We'll go a little further. The guy he let go, this tells you how he was against Mac Jones, because the only GM in the league I've ever seen get rid of a guy's binky and money wasn't the problem is Bill Belichick. Jacoby Myers, who, by the way, was homegrown, Patriot drafted and raised, who actually one Bill got right, instead of actually paying the man, which would have been $11 million a year. $11 million a year? Not bad for a receiver. He lets him go. He signs an injured Juju Smith-Schuster for the same amount of money. And then you look, Jacoby Myers, by the way. Jacoby Myers is currently, ready for this? He is at 616 yards, almost 11 yards per catch, and 6 touchdowns also. Now, why is that relevant to today's Patriots, who are 3-10? If you look at the Patriots' record, if you break it down, America, they have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 7 games by 7 points or less. 1 score. 7 one-score games because this genius couldn't somehow manufacture. And again, if you think of the average, it's less than 7 points a game they've lost by. Philly was 25-20, Miami 24-17, the Raiders 21-17, Washington 20-17, the Colts 10-6, the Giants 10-7, the Chargers 6-0. He couldn't manufacture 1 touchdown in any of those games against those teams. I would bet my house that if Jacoby Myers and DeAndre Hopkins were on this roster, the Patriots aren't 3-10. They're 10-3. Right there. And I've got the numbers to prove it. And I don't believe that either one of those guys is as good as Mac Jones that they were throwing to these 2 gentlemen. And I can prove that because Mac Jones outplayed both Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen head-to-head this year with less talent around him. So don't tell me if you give him DeAndre Hopkins, okay, and Jacoby Myers, and now you have this little Demario Douglas running around in the slot, that the Patriots wouldn't have won most, if not all, of the games I'm referring to. Because they would have. Because unlike Butte, who was a 6th-round pick, DeAndre Hopkins gets both feet down. Okay? Unlike Devontae Parker, who drops the bomb on the sideline and against the Raiders, Jacoby Myers catches that ball. And so does DeAndre Hopkins. Okay? Juju Smith-Schuster, the one against the Redskins that went through his hands when they're driving. DeAndre Hopkins and both, they catch that ball. Okay, there's 3 right there. Don't tell me the Colts would have held them to 6 points with those 2 out there. Nope. Don't tell me the Giants would have held them to 7 points with those 2 out there. Nope. Nope. And all he had to do was spend the money he had. That's all he had to do. And they aren't 3-10. They're probably 10-3. 7 one-score games. Maybe they lose the Miami game at home. It was 24-17. They were in that game. It was one-score game all the way in. They had the ball back, and they had to do this fumble where if you remember correctly, Hunter threw the ball back allowed to the lineman, and he didn't get the first down by like an inch on 4th down. It wouldn't even come to that. They probably win that game too, at home. So yeah, I think if those 2 guys are on the roster, the Patriots are sitting here at 10-3, and we're talking about a 1 seed between them and Baltimore right now because their defense has been that good. Because he spent the money on defense. He spent the draft picks on the defense. He totally invested in the defense. And lo and behold, the defense is ranked 7th in the NFL as of this morning. This is why Bill Belichick needs to go. Because there's no way a man with his football acumen can fuck this up as badly and as often as he has over the past 4 years. So if it's not intelligence, because I think everybody agrees he's not stupid, and he didn't forget how to coach, okay? Then there's only one other answer. Ego. 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 That's it, and that's all. He couldn't and this is the problem. And Tom Fez figured that out, and it baffles him to this day because it's like there's an exception to every rule. You work side by side with the greatest football player that ever lived for 20 years, and you didn't deduce at any point that this guy isn't the norm, that he is the exception to the rule. You know, the whole 6th round draft pick, 199 shit, all that stuff. Wins Super Bowls with Fred Coleman and Troy Brown and David Patton and Deion Branch and David Givens. Guys you'd never heard of outside of New England. Guys that between those 5 made 1 Pro Bowl. That was Troy Brown in 2001. Okay? Talk about chicken shit to chicken salad. Jermaine Wiggins is the tight end. No one knows who Jermaine Wiggins is outside of Foxborough. Okay? Christian Fiore, what's great about him? How many Pro Bowls has he made? Okay? Daniel Graham. Okay? Ben Watson. I mean, and that defense, just like Tampa Bay in 3 years ago, all very good defense, but they were 5-11 before he took over. And Drew Bledsoe was the quarterback the year before. Belichick was the coach. Terry Glenn was your number 1. 5-11. The evidence is right there in front of you, and you need to stop ignoring it. We'll call you when the statue's built, Bill. Okay? And he's earned that. Let's be fair here. He was a big part of what happened here. I'm not saying he wasn't. Okay? But it was Tom Brady. The pecking order was Tom Brady and then Bill. Okay? And if you haven't figured that out by now, you're just being stubborn. I'm not saying he didn't help Tom Brady. Of course he did. He's the greatest defensive mind probably ever. Of course that helped Tom Brady. But Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback ever. That baby's been put to bed. Okay? He proved that at 43 years old in a COVID year when he took a 7-19 with that bumbling boob Bruce Arians. He even got freaking Antonio Brown to stay in line for a year and have to put a ring on that undeserving prick's finger. Okay? Tom Brady is one of one. And Tom Brady is the only reason the Patriot way ever existed and ever worked. Okay? And if you haven't learned that by now, you've learned nothing. Okay? You've learned nothing. You still got blinders on. You're still saying in Bill we trust. And you're still saying to yourself, it's a big mistake if they let him go. Why? Why is it a big mistake? Do you need a 3-year sample size? How about a 5-year sample size? How about a 7-year? I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 10-year sample size. Will that convince you? 83-100 without Tom Brady. 1 playoff win. 1. Uno. 1. No division titles. None. Okay? What in this man's resume and that tells you that the Patriots need to hold on to him? Okay? The Patriots need a GM who understands that the game is an offensive game and will draft the offensive talent, will spend the money on the offensive talent like everybody else who's succeeding right now. Okay, the only system we know that can plug and play quarterbacks is the San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, now Purdy. Okay, the Patriot way Bill Belichick's system didn't work with anyone except Tom Brady. And I've got a 10-year sample size and 183 games to prove it. Okay? And unless he goes to Vegas and takes over with Justin Hibbert and doesn't fuck with that offense and just fixes the defense and the fundamentals, which, by the way, he can do that. The man can still coach. That's the only way he's going to win again. He's got to go somewhere where they're ready to win now. And he cannot be in charge of shopping for the groceries. He cannot be in charge of that. The evidence is taller than me, and I'm 6'4". Okay? He cannot be a GM in this league. Okay? Not in 2024. No way. He destroyed this franchise in 4 years. And he wasn't strapped for cash. They weren't in salary cap jail. He had the draft picks. He had the money. 2 years ago, he goes out and spends 150 out of 175 million. The only thing he got right now was Matthew Judon. Of course, it's defense. He knows defense. Judon he got right. Okay, but then there's Hunter Henry, there's Nelson Aguilar, there's Kendrick Bourne, and there's Jonnu Smith. Two of these guys were already gone. Aguilar's in Baltimore, Bourne. Jonnu Smith is down in Atlanta. Hunter Henry is decent. He's not a Pro Bowler. He's decent. Kendrick Bourne was having a pretty good year before he got hurt, but is he a Pro Bowler? No. That's a lot of money to spend in 72 hours on below average talent. He doesn't know how to spend that kind of money. Okay? He bargain shop for it. He went out and got his defensive superhero. And what is it? They've been in the top 10 3 of the last 4 years. They have nothing to show for it. You know why? Because there's no Tom Brady. And to expect Mac Jones to beat Tom Brady, you can't be that stupid. There'll never be another Tom Brady. There'll never be another Tom Brady. And to expect Mac Jones to beat Tom Brady is utterly ridiculous. He's just like every other quarterback in this league. If he doesn't, he's only as good as the personnel around him. Patrick Mahomes, Exhibit A. Exhibit A. The Kansas City Chiefs right now are not going to get the 1 seed. The Kansas City Chiefs lead the NFL in drops at 33. And Patrick Mahomes didn't forget how to play quarterback. He's only as good as what you put around him. And all he has right now is a 34-year-old Travis Kelce. That's not enough. It's not enough. Got away with it last year because Philadelphia fell asleep at the wheel. They shouldn't have won that Super Bowl last year. Philly gift wrapped it to them. That ain't going to happen this year. No. They don't get home field. Good luck. And I got news for you. This Sunday's game in Foxborough is going to be funny because the Pats defense will keep them in this game because Pat Mahomes doesn't have the horses to do what to run away from the Patriots. Okay? But Kansas City defense is good, okay? And barring another defensive stalwart going down for an entire half, I wouldn't hold my breath on Bailey Zappi doing what he did again, okay? So in any event, Bill Belichick needs to go, okay, like yesterday. And now we know why he hasn't been fired already. If you forgot, the Army-Navy game was at Gillette Stadium this weekend. Well, who worked at the Naval Academy? Oh, Bill Belichick's dad. That's where Bill Belichick learned everything about the game. He was on game day and actually made a good account of himself. He was actually fun. He actually showed a side of himself. He has a personality. Who knew? Okay? That was kind of cool. And when I look back on that, I'm glad they didn't fire him, now that I think of it, because he deserves that. He deserves the swan song, because this is the only swan song he's going to get. There ain't no playoff at the end of this rainbow. I don't care. And by the way, if the Patriots keep winning, how is this good? Because right now they're sitting with the number 2 pick. You don't want Bailey Zappi to win another game, okay? And if you're rooting for that, you are stupid. If it's got to the point, Patriot Nation, where it's all about can Bailey Zappi be our backup quarterback next year, you are missing the boat. Bailey Zappi should not be on this roster next year, and if he is, then whoever they bring in has fucked this up 6 ways to Sunday. Bailey Zappi should not be on this roster next year. No way. Okay, no way. And I'm not saying Mac Jones is the answer either, but he was a first-round draft pick and made a Pro Bowl and went to a playoff and outplayed 2 Pro Bowlers this year with that crap around him. Bailey Zappi outplayed Mitchell Trubisky. Shut the fuck up. And if Watt didn't go down in the first half, none of that would have happened because Watt showed up in the second half and Bailey Zappi did nothing but throw a pick and damn near threw 2. So get off the Bailey Zappi crap. He's not the future. He's not a mentor. He's not a stopgap. He's not a bridge. He's nothing. He's nothing but another mistake in a long line of mistakes made by your God, Bill Belichick. And that's the truth. And I don't like saying it because I always wanted to believe he was the greatest coach that ever lived. He's not. He just had Tom Brady. And the numbers bear it out. But whatever you do, you Bill Belichick scrotum scrubbing ball washers, whatever you do, just continue to ignore the facts and don't let them get in the way of your biased, butt-hurt opinion. We will return tomorrow night. Pick segment, Giggle Smoke Guarantee, 2 cents with Tommy. It'll be a lot of fun, hopefully, tomorrow night. Hopefully the weather cooperates. But it's getting close to Christmas. Hope you're getting that Christmas shopping done. The Celtics will also be in action tomorrow. We will update you on that rematch with the Cavaliers. Should be a heck of a game. See if Boston can go back-to-back. They're 11-0 at home. They're the only undefeated team at home. They got to keep that up tomorrow. We'll see what they do. Until then, you enjoy the rest of your evening. The week is almost over. Tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday, okay, or THC Thursday. We will see you then. Until then, for the redoubtable one who is on assignment. He's on assignment, all right. I hope you guys get to see that costume. The highly questionable one. I will see you guys in about 24 hours. Peace. Love.